please bear with me. The water. Boom, boom, boom. A moment. Bear with us, please. All right, that's going well. We're gonna try this this particular. Shalom, sis. I believe that's okay. Amala, yeah. Shalom, sis. Good to see you in class, Sister Soldier. Let's see. For questions or counsel, dial 203-548-0040. That's 203-203-548-0040. If you are going through something, if you are having an issue in life, you want to know how it pertains to the Bible, okay? Give us a call, all right? You don't have to go through it alone. You don't have to be by yourself, all right? You can do it. You can get through it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of how, all right? Like, share, subscribe, comment, even if it's a negative comment. You know what I'm saying? All those things help us out to spread this truth. All right? Don't hesitate. You don't like something you're hearing, you know what I'm saying? You have something to say it. You know? Say it. Let yourself be heard. You know what I'm saying? We are not afraid of contention. There's a couple more things I'm going to post. Salakia. ISUPK.com. That's ISUPK.com to find a school near you. All right. If you are not in the Connecticut area, all right, we have schools all over. Go on the website. Find if your town or city is not mentioned, find the one that's nearest you. Give that a call. Give that number a call and ask that brother how you can either ask a question or come into the school, or if you have need of information. You can also find a lot of information on the website itself, all right? ISUPK.com. All right. All right. Let's get started. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakathum to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alataba Hashem Yahushai to the sisters. I am priest and officer Gabar Amath. ISUPK Connecticut. We are ISUPK. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, Connecticut, under commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Indians their true culture and heritage as it pertains to the Bible. All right, supported by history and archaeology, that we, the black, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, so-called Negro, Latinos, and First Nationers are the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, 12 tribes of Israel, the Israelites, as the Bible calls us. All right, God's chosen people. And our oppressor, it's a common oppressor, the oppressor of the planet, the one who has everybody underfoot, all right, is the devil or deceiver. That's what devil means, that the Bible speaks of. All right. Mariam Bath Yashikar, Shalom, sis. Shalom, Labah Banyamyan.
During the opening, you stayed out of Harlem, Connecticut, not New York.
Oh, Salakia, out of Harlem, New York. I said Harlem, Connecticut. Salakia. Harlem, New York. All right. I don't even know if it's a Harlem, Connecticut, but that's not it. All right. Harlem, New York. All right. The one and only. All right. So let's get started. The Lord is raising up a royal priesthood. That's what's happening. All right. And the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, a royal priesthood is being raised up. All right. And we're going to get some scriptures on that today. How is that important? Why is that important? Because the Bible's important. It tells us many things. It tells us prophecy. It tells us our history. It tells us what to do, what not to do. All right. It's our laws, statutes, and commandments. It's our history as a people. It's our identity and our culture. And we're going to get all those things back. Because you know what? They've been robbed from us, man, by our oppressors, man. And you know why they were robbed, though? Because the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man, when we were known as Israelites, we were disobedient to the Most High. And the Most High gave us warning in Deuteronomy 28. He said, listen, you got to listen to my, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, follow my commandments and I'll bless you. Don't, and I'm going to give you over to a reprobate people, man. I'm going to give you over to people who are not even a people. And I'm going to punish you. All right? Paraphrasing, of course. And what's happened? We're in punishment. We're in captivity. Why? Because we are stiff-necked, hard-headed. Okay? We don't listen to what is important. We want to do what we want to do and not what is important or what is prudent to do for our benefit. And what the Lord is doing is he's raising up men, mighty men, that are going to be brotherly towards one another. And the Lord is going to make us absolutely wonderful in his eyes, right? And and the other nations who call our God a terrible power are going to bend the knee and bow the head to us once again. And we're going to be kings on the earth, where we are not kings right now, man. We are the ones made fun of on television. We're the ones who have so many stereotypes about us all over the place. Leroy Baylor, I want to say oh wait, I wrote it down. Salakia. Of course, I don't have the pad with me. Salakia. Trooper Thamak. I want to give you respect, brother. Shalom. Trooper Thamak in Denver, Colorado. Shalom, brother. He was once a Hartfordite, you know what I'm saying? Here from Hartford. Yes, hello. All right. Let's get going. Most High Christ. Let me give you some thumbs up myself. All right. So again, the Lord is raising up the men to be a royal priesthood. All right. And we're going to get scriptures today to support that. We're gonna let the blacks, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and their women know that that brother who's next to you, he's not what all those stereotypes say. You know what I'm saying? He's not hot-headed. He's not overly effeminate. He's not stubborn. He's not poor. Right? He's not a drug dealer. He's not a drug addict. He's the future royal priesthood of the Most High. And he's the future king of the earth. You understand? Under Yahushua, of course. Under whom the world calls Christ, of course. Young man Lawrence is in the house. Shalom, brother.
Shalom, Adawan.
We're gonna start with Titus 2:14.
Khan on the one, Khan.
The water. The book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 14.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 14. Who gave himself for us.
So, like it, start 2 up from that.
Khan. The book of Titus, chapter 2, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly.
Let's stop there for a moment. Read that again. That's pretty tight. That's pretty tight.
Khan. Teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world.
That's right. In this present world, because there's a world to come. There is a world. I know what. Turn off that light. The sign-in sheet for ISUPK, the one I posted, is not working. For anyone who tried to go in there again, that's something that I have to work out. So just Salakia and bear with us with that. We're gonna get that corrected. All right. So Salakia for anyone who is dealing with that. All right. Salakia, man. Trying to go in there. All right. Just bear with me. Damn. Salakia, we got to start at 1, young man. Let's start at 1.
Khan.
Yeah, and we're going to have to read down. This might be a 2 or 3-parter because it's all pertinent. Let's go.
Khan.
All right.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine.
Guess what the world does not have at current outside the UPK? Sound doctrine. We got the doctrine of devils and the doctrine of fools, man. We got the doctrine that says that Republican and Democrat mean something. We got the doctrine that says that guess what? The COVID's gonna get you. Listen, the Lord's gonna get you. Be afraid of the Lord, not COVID. Be afraid of the Lord, not the vaccine. Be afraid of the Lord, not your plane crashing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be so afraid of everything. You know what I'm saying? Yet the Most High can kill you. You know what I'm saying? But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Is sound doctrine something that you just are born with? No. Doctrine is teaching. Right? It's your, what do you call that? Curriculum. Right? We're called the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Our curriculum is the Bible. You understand? That's what we teach. That's what we're experts at here. Why? Is it because we were just born with it? You know what I'm saying? No. It's because our teachers taught us and we become teachers and teach. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. After the word doctrine, after the E in the word doctrine, what is that right there? What symbol is that? What punctuation is that? You know, young man Lawrence?
I slipped my mind. That punctuation slipped my mind.
It's a colon. That's a colon, right? It's called a colon.
The double dot?
Khan. Thabawan Bangad. Shalom. Yeah, that's called a colon. Now, when you see a colon, it means that what comes after it is going to be a supporting part of what came before it, right? When you see a semicolon or a dot with a comma beneath it, that means it's going to be contrary, or sometimes the opposite. It doesn't always have to be, but sometimes. So right now, what comes after that colon is going to be supporting that sentence or that scripture that we just read. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. Read verse 2.
Khan. Verse 2. That the aged man be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience.
Right. Now, what is sound doctrine? What we're going to read. That the aged men, Salakia, the aged men be sober, not drunkards, not high all the time, not getting it in every day, sober. You know what I'm saying? Grave, serious, temperate, having a sense of how to be at any given time, right? Not to be too much this and too much that, to know how to be in between and to navigate. Sound in faith, not just believe in anything, falling for everything, but having a belief in something and staying in that faith or belief. In charity, giving to your brother, not always taking, but giving, right? In patience, having a sense of patience with your brothers, with your sisters, with your children, right? With your pets, with everything. Having a sense of patience, right? And that's where being temperate comes in. Because sometimes you have to show, sometimes you have to not show. But you got to know the difference, right? You'll learn that over time, right? Aramawan Banya Shirala Salakia. Shalom. Salakia, if I didn't say your name correctly. Aramawan. I like that. All right. Let's get verse 3.
Verse 3. The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things.
Right. So verse 2 was the aged man. Now we're talking about the aged woman. Okay. The aged woman, likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness. So that behavior can't be like the rest of the world. If the rest of the world is sluts and whores, then you can't be that. If the rest of the world is loud and boisterous, rebellious, right? Then you shouldn't be that. Right? You have to have behavior as becometh holiness. What does holy mean, young man Lawrence?
It means separate.
Correct. It means to be separate, right? To be in the world, but not of it, right? So you, as a woman, you can't be out there thinking, I'm going to get all this money. I'm going to have all this work. I'm going to have 2.5 children and 3.5 pets. You know what I'm saying? Nah, none of that applies to you, right? Because an Israelite woman has to have an aspiration of something different. They can't want their career first, right? They can't want all those things first. No, you can. I'm not saying you can't. But I'm saying if the world is doing it, you should be holy. You should be separate. You should be different. If the world is wearing leggings, right, with no skirt, right, all this workout apparel, showing your bum, showing your cooch, showing everything, you should be holy. You should cover up. If the world's wearing, if the trend is the cleavage all the way down to your sternum, well, then you should cover up. If the world is shaving off the side of their head, that seems to be something popular for years. I don't even know why, man. All these women are shaving off one side of their head, man, and then having long hair on the other side. If that's the trend, don't do it. Don't do it. Whatever it is, that is the trend. Turn and walk the other way. Okay? Because your behavior has to become, what does it say? Has to becometh holiness, separateness. You have to look different, behave different, walk different, talk different. Read on.
Khan. That they may teach the young woman.
Read on after becometh, as becometh holiness. Salakia.
Salakia. All right. I don't Salakia, I don't want.
No sweat. Middle of verse 3.
Not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things.
Not false accusers. Ooh. Me Too movement. Hello. Not false accusers. Listen, let me tell you something, man. I like doing word searches. Keep the mind occupied so I don't end up with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's later, hopefully. Lord allow, right? Keep my mind working. I'm doing word searches. And there's a word search about stand-up comedians. Now, in my word list, it says Cosby. Seinfeld is on there. Louis C.K., all these different stand-up comedians are on there. Cosby is in the list. Now, I'm looking for this word for I don't know how long. Do you know, because of what happened, the accusation that the word search people took his name out of the actual puzzle? That blew my. I had to go to the key in the back of the book to see if I was just missing it, because I was on there for like a half an hour. Like, yo, where's this word at? Where is Cosby at? Well, guess what? It wasn't there. This man is accused of something years later, man. Like years later. There's not even physical evidence. It's just accusation, and whether or not he is admitting to something or not, or, whatever the case is. And he was a young man. He made mistakes, Not to say he can't make mistakes, not to say the women were wrong either. But just the simple accusation can destroy you. Just a woman's word can destroy a man and can take away his legacy from the face of the earth. Because that's what's happening to Bill Cosby. Slowly his legacy is being ripped away. He would have been one of the most known black men ever, because of the sitcoms and the reruns and all the things that he achieved in his life. And the legacy, his TV shows, the things that he created, even his son, ripped away. His son is dead. Gone. Gone. And you know what he was doing when his son was killed? Trying to buy CBS. Trying to buy a TV station. And he was denied. That's how powerful a woman is.
Slakia, sir. That was NBC. Slakia.
I'm sorry. Tawada for the correct. NBC. Trying to buy NBC. And guess what? First of all, it was him and Michael Jordan. Cut?
Khan on Khan.
All right. Him and Michael Jordan. It didn't happen. But guess what happened? Michael Jordan's father got killed, and Bill Cosby's son was killed. Both violently, and both suddenly. And then they both said, okay, let's just be quiet. Now listen, that's how powerful a woman can be, though, that can take away a legacy. Even a huge, manly-looking heathen woman. Because that's what that thing is. That thing is scary looking, man. That thing got a long jaw and all. I mean, wow. But just what she says is enough. And a whole movement starts. Not false accusers. Our women can't be like that, man. Now, if you get molested, tell the truth. But if you didn't, don't try to have any gain from just talking junk about somebody because they didn't like you at the time. You know what I'm saying? Or you were doing something that you shouldn't have been doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to learn as a people to tell the truth all the time about everything, right? Not false accusers, not giving too much wine so that you can be like, it was the alcohol. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that to be said about you. You don't want it to be said that, damn, she, whenever she get drunk, she just go buck wild. She do anything. Or whenever he gets drunk, he goes buck wild and does anything. You don't want that either, man. You know what I'm saying? Teachers of good things, all right, to your children, to other women, right? Verse 4.
Verse 4. That they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children.
Now that went into further went into, okay, teaching good things. That explained it. That they may teach the young women to be sober, to also teach them to be sober, to love their husbands. Why? Because this society teaches you that your husband got to love you. All right? Now, that's what it teaches. It does not teach reciprocation, though. That husband's supposed to get down on his knee and propose to you, and then his whole existence is supposed to revolve around you. That's not biblical. You're supposed to be his satellite. He's the sun and you be the moon. You know what I'm saying? You be that lesser light that supports him, that brings in the money. You know what I'm saying? And takes it out like a tide sometimes. Ebbs and flows. You know what I'm saying? You be that for him. To love their children, which a lot of women don't do, because what's happening at an alarming rate? Abortion. I watched I don't know if it was a Senate hearing or something like that. And no. It was about Joe Biden's nominees. And they asked, and unfortunately he was an Israelite behaving as a heathen. They asked this man questions about abortion. If this, then what are you going to do? He kept saying, all I'm going to say is I'm going to follow the law. The law says you can take these forceps, and as long as you crimp the head off the baby, you can bring that baby out at 9 months. Like, abort. So the gentleman showed pictures of babies in the womb at 3 months, at 4 months, at 5 months. Let me tell you when the face was developed after like the second month. You could see you could see a nose, you could see eyes, you could see fingers, you could see everything forming. And he asked the man, when is it okay to abort? a prototype of a human, because that's what a baby is, right? When is it okay to go in and chop this baby up? Again, I'll follow the law. That's my mother, she prays. She's a Catholic. She prays all the time, and she prays for me, and she prayed for me before I came here, and she this and this and this and that and this and that. Goes to show you how evil Catholicism is, right? Right? They're not supposed to be like an abortion, but this man will support abortion as long as it's the law of the land. That's our oppressor right there, man. Our oppressor wants us to support anything that is his law that he creates, whether it be a law that murders or not. Our women need to learn to love their children again, man, because 150,000, 250,000, 350,000 abortions a year just only, and that's from the 11% of so-called black people. That's not Hispanic or so-called Hispanic. That's not so-called white. That's not so-called this and so-called that. That's just anybody who looks like me. 250,000 a year? Now, can you imagine if those babies were allowed to be born? Can you imagine all the George Washington Carvers that are being killed? All of the Benjamin Banneker's that are being killed? All of the people that we learn about in school who did something great, even though there were very few, right? Because we only get a month to learn about everybody who was great. Even though everything that we look at in the world was invented by us, we still only get a month, right? But how many more inventions would we have? How much better would our quality of life be if we were just allowed to be born? That's heavy. Read on. Verse 5.
Khan. To be discreet, chasten, keepers, chasten, keepers,
Chaste.
huh?
Chaste.
Chaste, Salakia.
Mm-hmm.
To be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High, Salakia, that the word of the powers be not blasphemed.
Right. Because when you're not those things, you blaspheme the word of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? To be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, not somebody else's now. Don't go out there and listen to somebody else's man when you got a man at home yourself. Run it by your man. See what he says. You know what I'm saying? Run it by your man. See what he says. That the word of the Most High Power, the word of the powers, be not blasphemed. Go ahead.
Khan. Verse 6.
Now, I'm sorry, Salaki. We covered aged men and aged women. Now let's move on to the next category. Go ahead.
Khan. Young men, likewise, exhort to be sober-minded.
That's number 3. You know what I'm saying? That's 3 sobers in a row. Everybody got to be sober. Don't be a drunken fool. Don't be high off your behind. You know what I'm saying? Be in your right mind. Be righteous in your right mind. Go ahead.
Khan. Verse 7. In all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works. In doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity.
Gravity, heaviness, sincerity. You know what I'm saying? In all things, showing thyself a pattern. It must be a continuous thing. You know what I'm saying? A pattern is something that is continuous, and a pattern can be recognized. This is not a pattern when you're all over the place. That's not a pattern. Okay? That's not a pattern. A pattern is something that is continuous. It is predictable. Right? A pattern of good works. And then, boom, there is a colon again. in doctrine showing uncorruptness. That's not the Christian church. That's not the Catholic Church. That's not any church that calls itself a church. That's not half the brothers and sisters out there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us show corruptness, man. We show a lack of pattern. We show that we're unsteady in our thinking and in our deeds. All right, but that the Bible says something different. It says we should be in a pattern of good works, in doctrine, showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. Go ahead. It continues.
Verse 8. Sound speech that cannot be condemned. That he that is.
Whoa, hold on. Let's not go over that one. Sound speech that what?
That cannot be condemned.
Sound speech that cannot be condemned. I'm going to tell you what happened to me today. Share something, because why not? It happened. I took my mother to a Family Dollar, and that's not an advertisement. These are facts. I parked my car in a space. A brother, an Ephraimite, backs up. He's backing into the space next to me. I have no car on my right side because the curb is there and grass and a tree. I'm all the way over, man. I made sure I left enough room. This Ephraimite, and nothing against Ephraim. This was a specific individual, specific situation. All right, there's no tribalism going on here. I love my brother. And I'll show you I love my brother. He backs up this close to my vehicle. Salakia, this close to my vehicle. I'm looking down. He's got his low white Civic, and I'm like, damn, I hope this dude about to scratch my junk. I roll my window down a little bit. He catches himself. He pulls out. He comes back farther over. Okay, he's on the phone, not paying attention. It's windy here in Connecticut. It is extreme. I mean, since last night, it's been crazy windy here. All right, temperature plummeted down to 17 degrees from yesterday, a beautiful 50 degrees. It felt like it's the beginning of spring yesterday, and it feels like we're back in the midst of winter now, okay? The young man opens his door. The wind takes the door. Boom! Slams into my car. I have a truck. Slams into my SUV. I have a small SUV. Slams into it. It's economical. I can't even open my door to get out to see what happens because it's wedged itself there. He's sitting down looking at me. I roll the window down like, yo, what's the problem, brother? Like, why, yo? He doesn't apologize. He doesn't say my fault. He doesn't say anything. You know what he says to me? Guess what he said, young man, Lawrence?
The wind took it.
You know what he said? You got a problem? You got a problem, yo? What you looking at? I said, what? Now, I weigh over 300 pounds. All right? He had to be wet 110, 120. All right? I'm 6'2". He's got to be 5'7", 8 at the most. All right? He's skinny, man. And I'm like, yo, brother, you're not going to say sorry? All I wanted was an apology. My fault. It was the wind. I would have taken it was the wind. Because I know it was the wind. I would have taken that. Show some kind of like something. He gets in my face. He swings at me twice. Then he tells me to call the police. Because he's in my face, all I smell is alcohol. I'm thinking, so I say to him, yo, if I call the police, they're going to arrest you. I'm not calling the police. Well, I got insurance. What's up? Let's call the insurance company. Let's call the insurance. Come on, boy. Let's call the insurance company. And he's setting up on me again. I'm like, you want to fight me and then call the insurance company, or call the insurance company and then fight me? Which one? I don't understand what's going on right now. I really don't understand what's going on right now. You hit my car and I got to sit here and be patient with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. So I said, you know what? Just go inside, do what you're going to do, man. I got in my car. I back up. I go on the other side of the parking lot. I go to get out of my car. Guess who's running over to try to punch my face again? He ran across the whole parking lot to swing on me. I ducked it. I said, really, man? What's your problem, man? You having a bad day? This thing was so trying for my patience. While my mother, who's in her 70s, is shopping at a Family Dollar. That's what's going on. I'm thinking, man, now my mother comes out. I don't want her to come out right now. Let me just dead this right here. And not have this brother go to jail. He had a baby seat in the back. You know what I'm saying? Yo, this is what needs to happen in our nation. This is what needs to happen for the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. We need to be sober-minded. These scriptures that we're reading right here, man, I lived this today. Today I had to live this. I lived by these words, which saved him from getting arrested, saved him from having his insurance go up. It cost me money. You know what I'm saying? But so be it. But the forgiveness has to happen in our people. The love must be shown, not just always talked about. Oh, you got to shop black businesses. You got to do this. You got to do that. Well, show me somebody opening a black business. You know what I'm saying? Show me the black hair salons and the black nail salons for manicures and pedis. You know what I'm saying? Show me the black car washes. You know what I'm saying? And the black garbage companies. You know what I'm saying? And we'll support them, definitely. But show me the so-called black people, so-called Hispanic people, so-called Native Indian people getting out there and being what these things say. Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded. Our young men are not sober-minded, man. They can be. You know what I'm saying? But their teaching is from their moms, man. There's no father in the house. I even said to him, I bet you your father wasn't in the house, huh? So what, man? I don't need that nigga, man. I don't need him. I had my mother. You know what I'm saying? I had my mother. And that's how you behaving like. You behaving effeminate. You know what I'm saying? Get away from me. You know what I'm saying? Yo, let me tell you something. Our people have it in them to be better. But we have to want it, man. We have to truly want it. And we have to get out there and start showing the Most High that we can be better than we've been being, man. Now, you know what I'm saying? We need to get out of stop being bulls in the street. That's what he was. He was a bull in the street, man. And that's what I went through today. I just want to share that. All right? Let's get some more. Verse 7.
Slakia, sir.
Oh, Salakia. You
I
right.
was on 8.
You were on 8.
At the condemned.
Right. Go ahead.
Verse 8 in the middle. That he that is of contrary parts may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you.
That's right. That brother can't say evil of me. I didn't punch him in his face. I didn't pick him up and slam him. I didn't Yad Karab his ass down. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? I had mercy on him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what all of us have to be able to do for each other. That's the love we got to show. You know what I'm saying? As Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians towards each other. Because no one's going to show us that. No one else, no heathen's going to show us that. You know what I'm saying? As we watched General Yohanan last night, man, yo, like our boys are being choked out. Attempted murder style. You know what I'm saying? Our boys are at high risk. You know what I'm saying? We're at risk as a people constantly. But we know what we have to do. All we have to do is just be righteous, man. Just have Don't allow anything to be said of us. Right? Good. Keep going.
Verse 9. Exhort servants to be obedient unto their own masters,
Mm-hmm.
and to please them well in all things. Again,
Not answering, you cut out for a second. Not answering again. Exhort servants to be obedient unto their own masters and to please them well in all things, not answering again. What does that mean? That means when there's rank and order, follow it. That's it. How many of our young men have never experienced rank and order because they have no father in the house? Because mom is out of order herself. You know what I'm saying? How many of our young men have to learn these things? Guess what? They're here. They're here to be learned. You know what I'm saying? And it's very important that the ISUPK flood this planet, because all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians need this. We need this. We need this as a people. This is our culture, a culture of order and discipline and morality. Keep going.
Verse 10. Not purloining.
Purloining. Can we look that up? Slakia. Let's look that up, young man. Purloining. That's a word I want to put in my vocabulary. Stop purloining. Whatever that means. Let's check it out.
Purloin. Hold on.
Yep, purloining. Purloining.
LOIN.
Slakia, did you give her those things I told you to? All right.
ING. Purloining. Slakia.
No sweat.
Oh, shoot. It went too far. It went all over.
Take her outside real quick.
Purloin. Which word? Root word purloin.
Mm-hmm.
Girded. Jerk. I don't know this.
GIRT.
No, GERUND.
Gerund.
Jared or present. Oh, basically it's still. It's
stealing?
When he must have managed a purloin, a copy of a key. Steal, thief, or take.
Okay. All right. So don't steal for another, right? Not purloining. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. But showing all goods of fidelity.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. So being consistent with your brother, not to be taking from him, but showing fidelity, showing loyalty. Go ahead. So that's like a brother leaves his wallet somewhere. You go in his wallet. You return the wallet, but not the money. You know what I'm saying? You return the wallet, but the credit cards are gone. Go ahead.
Fidelity, that they may adorn the doctrine of the powers, our Savior, in all things.
That's right. Keep going.
Verse 11. For the grace of the powers that bringeth salvation have appeared to all men.
For the grace of the powers that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men. Keep going.
Looking, Salakia. Verse 12. Teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. Verse 13.
That grace of God that brings salvation, that has appeared to all men, teaches that denying ungodliness and worldly lusts, we should live soberly. Okay, again, we have to deny ungodliness and worldly lusts, man. We can't let ourselves get caught up in it. We should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. You know what I'm saying? Not always looking for the kingdom, but creating the kingdom here. Go ahead. Oh, Salah. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. We have to do the will of the Most High here, right now. Right? We can't keep looking for, well, we are to look for something greater while working towards it. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Looking for that blessed hope and the glorious appearing of the great powers and our Savior, Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
Keep going.
Verse 14. Who gave himself for us, that he might redeem us from all iniquity.
From how much iniquity?
All iniquity.
From every last bit of sin, right? Every last transgression of the law is what Christ gave himself for, so that he can redeem us, right? Bring us back from the precipice of being dead, right? From releasing us from all iniquity. Go ahead.
And purify unto himself a particular people, zealous of good works.
Salakia, peculiar.
Peculiar, Salakia.
Zealous of good works. Last verse.
Salakia.
Go ahead, verse 15. And listen, if you cut out all the middle, right? All the middle of this, and you read just 1 and 15, this is 1 all the way down. All this pertains to verse 1. That sound doctrine that was mentioned. Verse 15, go ahead.
Verse 15. These things speak and exhort and rebuke.
Now, wait. These things speak and exhort. That's exhortation. To proclaim loudly, right? And rebuke with all authority, right? Go ahead.
Let no man despise thee.
Don't let nobody hate you for doing the work of the Most High and the work of our King. You know what I'm saying? Who does the work of his Father. Salakia, let her in. Let's drop that and let's get Matthew 10 and 38. Make sure the outside light is off, please.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 38. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
Who's speaking there, young man Lawrence?
Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Adawan Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
That's right. The Christ is what the world calls him, right? He's speaking. What does he say again? Read that again.
And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me.
If you're not picking up your cross, if you're not bearing the burdens that our King bore, if you're not doing your part, right, you're not worthy of Christ. Go ahead.
Verse 39. He that findeth his life shall lose it. And he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it.
Keep going.
Verse 40. He that receiveth you receiveth me. And he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me.
Which is
Yahweh Salakia.
That's right. The Most High. Go ahead.
The Most High, Salakia. Verse 41. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet reward.
That's right. He that receiveth a man of the ISUPK in the name of a prophet, right, shall receive a prophet's reward. Go ahead. The prophets are here in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. That's what the prophets are, man. All right. Everybody wants to mimic this, but everybody wants to be a copy, right? But nobody wants to be it, right? Well, Salaki, I won't say nobody. A select few will come in and humble themselves to be truly a prophet. Not everybody followed Christ. Not everybody was one of the 12 disciples. Not everybody was the extension of them. You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of copycats back then too. Keep going. But who's spoken about 2,000 years later?
And he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward.
Keep going.
Verse 42. And whosoever shall give a drink unto one of these little ones
shall give to drink. And whosoever shall give to drink. Go ahead.
Salakia. And whosoever shall give to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water only in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall no wise lose his reward.
That's right. Surely I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward. For what? For giving to drink unto one of these little ones a cup of cold water in the name of a disciple.
Here's a matching video.
Salakia, let's go Matthew 16 and 24.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 24. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
That's right. Keep going.
Verse 25.
Again, this is saying the same thing that we just read in 10 and 38. All right, this is a reiteration. Go ahead.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it.
Again, this is saying the same thing, right? Let's get that. Let's get Mark 8 and 34. Give another bully treat.
Mark, this is the book of Mark, chapter 8 and verse 34. And when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
Again, you have to deny yourself. You have to deny the lustfulness that you have always had in your life. You got to change yourself, man. You can't do what you want to do. You got to do what you're required to do. And that's a hard thing for a lot of us. You understand? Christ was killed for his people. He gave his life for his people. You can't just give of yourself. You're not dying. You can't give of yourself to raise a nation that the Lord wants you to raise. You can't give up your own group to come back into the body of the Most High, which is here in the ISUPK, right, where it all started. You can't come back because of an ought. You want to hold a grudge like a woman? In Salakia, there's nothing wrong with women. Nothing wrong with women, but they hold grudges. Okay, they're spiteful. That's not the spirit of a man. A man should not be that. Man should be better than that. A man should seek the royal priesthood of the Most High. Slaki, take her outside, please, and just leave her outside for now. All right. Keep going.
Count out on count. Verse 35.
Mm-hmm.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it.
Mm-hmm.
But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's,
And the gospel's sake, because the other verses didn't say that. For my sake and the gospel's sake and the word of my Father's sake, right? Go ahead.
Count out on count. The same shall save it.
Right. The same shall save it. Verse 36.
Verse 36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul?
I'll answer that. Not a darn thing. Nothing. Let's get Luke 9 and 23.
Luke 9 and 23.
Come.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 9. Slocky.
No sweat, warrior.
Chapter 9 and verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and
Again,
take up.
There's a trend that keeps happening. You got to come, follow Christ, and in that, deny yourself. Do what Christ wants, not what you want. Go ahead.
And take up his cross daily and follow him.
How often?
Follow me.
How often do you take up your cross?
Daily.
Daily. Right. Keep going.
Verse 24.
Mm-hmm.
For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it.
Right. 25.
25.
Mm-hmm.
For what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? Verse 26. For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he shall come in his own glory and in his Father's and of the holy angels.
That day, that's heavy right there. For whosoever shall be ashamed of me, and that's all these Christian churches, man, all these pork chop eating, lobster eating pastors, shrimp eating pastors, you know what I'm saying, who want to sleep with everybody's woman and boy and man, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who wants to, you know what I'm saying, all these women that want to be pastors and reverends and all that. These are those people, man. For whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, not just of Christ, but of what Christ is about, what he speaks about. You know what I'm saying? Of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed when he shall come in his own glory and in his Father's and of the holy angels, man. That's when that sky cracks open and Christ comes with all the angels, man. It's going to be glorious. You know what I'm saying? Read verse 27.
Verse 27. But I tell you of a truth.
Mm-hmm.
Be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the kingdom of the powers.
That's right. Some of us are going to not taste death until we see the kingdom. All right. Last verse, Deuteronomy 4. No, last two verses. Salakia. Yeah, Deuteronomy 14 and 2.
Count out of account. It's the book of Deuteronomy.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 14.
Yep.
And verse 2.
Right.
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy powers. Unslack for thou art a holy people unto the Most High thy powers.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High have chosen thee to be a particular,
No, peculiar.
a peculiar,
That's what.
a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth.
You know who that is? That is the Black Hispanic Native Indian. That is the Negro Latino First Nationer. You know what I'm saying? For thou art an holy people, a separate people, unto the Most High thy powers. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High have chosen thee. We've been chosen by our God to be a peculiar people unto himself. He keeps us in his pocket, man. We're his chosen. Above all the nations that are upon the face of the earth. Don't let anyone tell you, right, that we're all the same. We're not all the same. We are better than the heathen. We are better than the Chinese, the Japanese, the African. We are better than the so-called Italian. I'm going to say so-called all these, okay? So-called and start with Chinese and then move on. Italian, so-called all the other nations who are not us. We are better than them. God loves us, doesn't love them. Not the same way. You know what I'm saying? They serve a purpose, but their purpose is really based on us. When we're in line, they're our slaves. That's their purpose. When we're not aligned, they're used, they have a part in our slavery, in our captivity, in our punishment for not obeying the Most High. All we got to do is obey, man. Come back into your culture. Come back into who you really are. You know what I'm saying? Come into the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. You know what I'm saying? All these generals, all the captains, all the officers, all the troopers, all the young men. Because if you don't come in, you lower than the young men. You know what I'm saying? You got to start somewhere, man. Come in here and learn who you really are, man. Learn who you're supposed to be. Learn how to subdue yourself. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to get rid of the femininity your mom put on you. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to be masculine, truly masculine. Come in here and be a man of war like your God. You know what I'm saying? Fight against yourself first. And then you can fight like hell to raise this nation up. Because that's what's needed. You know what I'm saying? That's the last. I am Priest and Officer Gabar Moth, ISUPK, Connecticut. We are ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called Black, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Indians, the true culture and heritage, as it says in the Bible, that we are the Israelites, all right? God's chosen people, his peculiar people that he keeps to himself, all right? And that our oppressor, the heathen, those who are not Israelites, are the devil or deceiver the Bible speaks of. Part 2 tomorrow. All right? Be here, be square. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.